You've seen a lot of camps. Is this normal?
I have seen a lot of camps, and you know, for folks that
this is our humble abode.
that don't want to live out here, some do, some choose to. There's got to be a better way.
I've been out here off and on for about 5 years now. Off and on, I've had several different camps. Not that easy. I've been through addiction out here. I've been sober out here. You have to worry about raccoons getting in your tent if you have food. If you take a view of the side of my tent, you'll see all the orange tape. It's just not easy living like this. The camp thing is, it's okay for a little while, but to do it for, you know, a year, 2 years, it gets monotonous.
That's how we survive each other. Food, money, cigarette, water. We just help each other out.
This is how we start fires. This is how I do my dishes. I take a bath with a bucket and a bottle of water.
And so this is your storage shed over here?
This is where I keep all my dishes and canned goods, stuff like that.
So it's a kitchen.
Kinda, yeah. If you want to call it that. This is our bedroom, where we sleep. Of course, you see that we are in the process of packing and stuff.
It said, you guys know we're in private property?
But he came out, opened his door, looked at us, said, hey, y'all got to go. And oh, by the way, in a week we're going to be bulldozing, so maybe Mary Beth might be able to help us out a little bit, you know, with maybe some resources that can help us with as far as, because I can't go on the sidewalk, not with what's going on with me. I've lost 2 camps out here. The one that I lost the most out of. I lost photo albums of my family. Pictures of my mom when she got married, pictures of me when I was a kid with my brothers. None of it can be replaced. Would you guys like some hot cocoa while you're here?
I got some hot cocoa.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My mom's taught me a lot about being hospitable to people when they come to your house. Like I said, before y'all even got here, I was like, oh my God, they're coming to my house. My house is a mess. My mom would always make sure the house was nice and neat when company would come. So, she was never a drug addict or anything. She loved abusive men.
Okay.
They beat on her. And she put up with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The state tried to say that my mom didn't love me, and I said, you are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My mother did everything she possibly could to keep us. I was molested when I was younger. It wasn't her fault.
Mm-hmm.
She was a single parent trying to make it in the world, and babysitters weren't, you know, always trustworthy.
Right.
My stepdad that she was married to beat on me and her, never touched my brothers. So I watched many times my mom get beat when I was young. I don't even know my real dad. I wish I did. I moved my girls out of Sarasota because of the drugs and the homeless life. I didn't want them to experience it.
Right.
I really didn't. I had a really bad crack addiction. Of course, I'm recovered for a year now.
Awesome.
So, loving it. I'm loving it.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't been going to meetings because it makes me feel like I want to go out and use.
Right.
It puts me back in that past, and that's a part of me I'm trying to kind of forget, you know. In the past 3 or 4 years since I've been out of jail, I've reunited with my children after not being around them for 10 years. So I talk to them on Facebook quite a bit. They've got my phone number, they can call me. I can't get a job. I've got felonies on my record. You know, it's not about drug tests no more. It's about my criminal history. I go through pain on a daily basis, from the top of my neck to my tailbone, and then from like my sciatic nerves all the way down to my feet.
And how do you deal with that pain?
I
No
take
pain. Do you do pain meds or?
I take ibuprofen.
Okay.
Not saying that I haven't abused narcotics, but I have had narcotics in the past year. But it was for medical reasons.
Right.
It
So
was
you
at the
took them as
hospital.
prescribed.
It was like hospital gave it to me.
Okay.
I didn't go get it myself. None of that. The hospital gave it to me
Good for you.
For the, you know. And
You are a very, very strong, determined woman.
I've had so many people, Mary Beth, look at me when I've told them my life story. They look at me and like, how are you still sane? How are you still so
Look at you
together?
now.
How are you still such a strong woman? And I look at them and I'm like, you know what? It's kind of one of those things where when you go through a trauma like that, okay, deal with it at the time, but then move on. That is my little flower bed that I have created since I've been out here. It's got my angels. This one actually says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. On the 10th, I have my, they're going to do a procedure to find out if it's cancerous of what's going on with me. So
I think the main concern at this moment is there's a gap in services for people experiencing homelessness, and then post-surgery coming out of the hospital, where do they go to recover?
So I've lived in a vehicle too. You know, I've had to fly a sign, I've had to panhandle, I've had to, you know, just to survive. I've lived behind the dog track in the woods. I've lived off the tracks behind the dog track. I've lived over there on University. Or where we're at now, I've lived there about 3 years now, since I got out of Port Manatee. When I tried to look for a job after that, they kept telling me they couldn't hire me because I had felonies. My felonies consist of at least 3 possessions of cocaine. I have 2 felony prostitutions and a tampering with evidence. That's what's on my criminal. That's my felonies. I just kind of live with what's going on at the moment. I try not to think about what happened in the past, because I can't change it. It's happened. God's let it happen for a reason. He's put me through those trials and tribulations and all that abuse for a reason. He's molding me into somebody who can maybe help others that are going through it. You've got to realize, Mary Beth, I've been dealing with a lot of these homeless people, the same ones, for years. This is, like I said, I was in a ministry. I've been in several ministries where I volunteered to help the homeless because they are my passion. And some of them just have given up. There's a lot of them that's just given up because their families have given up on them. The system's given up on them.
So do you
So they've
think
given up on themselves.
Okay, so do you think if we were able to spark some hope in those folks, that they would choose to
Change? If they have somebody to cheer them on. They need a good cheer, you know?
cheerleader?
I mean, you're not gonna... And you've got some out there that just don't care. They'd rather live that way. That's just what they're used to. They've been like that way their whole life. They don't know how to live any other way. That's where I feel like they need to have some more programs to teach the people like that how to live again, how to be normal. Stop stereotyping. Because not all of us are bad. Not all of us. There's a lot of us that are out here because of medical reasons or because of addiction or alcoholism. The only way you're going to fix homelessness is if you battle those first. You take that individual and you deal with that individual's problem firsthand.